Welcome to the Connectable podcast.
The Connectable podcast starts in 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. I hate these podcasts because this is a do-over. Not a true do-over because we're not doing the same topic that we did, but just so everybody knows, like we normally do, we try to be transparent with what happens on the show behind the scenes. We recorded this past Tuesday night with Deb, myself, and Jordan. And unfortunately, there was a really bad connection. And there was a bunch of areas where there was missing audio. There was video freezes that, it's probably one of the worst we've ever had. There's been 2 or 3 instances that were pretty bad. This was one of them. It was just like unusable, and my OCD would not allow me to use what we had because it was just so much chopping it up, and it was gonna be a shell of what the episode actually was. And just to be honest, some of the stories that we told, the weird breaks in audio, the weird awkward pauses because of the freezing, it made some of the stories that we shared kind of creepy. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, like they were supposed to be humorous. It kind of, Jordan and I were talking afterwards, it kind of changed some of them into, I can't tell if we offended each other or if that person thought that was a horrible story. There's a lot of things that made that podcast bad. So unfortunately, we're not going to post that one. We might post, at this point, we probably did post some clips of some of the funny moments that didn't get messed up. But anyways, just so you guys know, this was an episode that Deb was a part of. And unlike what I would normally do and just roast her and make fun of her, I'm not even going to do that this time because I actually felt bad because she's obviously incredibly busy as a teacher and with everything that she's doing. So, I felt bad that we couldn't use that audio, and it wasted basically an hour and a half of her time. So Deb, as a thank you, I'm not even going to make fun of you tonight. I'm not going to do it. It's like you have the night off from being made fun of. Now, next week, game back on. I can't help you. But anyways, that being said,
this is from me.
Yeah, I can't speak for Jordan. He's his own guy. He's on a different Zoom screen. But yeah, so tonight, just to give you guys an idea, we talked about field trips, our top 5 field trips last time. We're not going to do that because in the past, Deb and I have done that where we basically went back and just re-recorded what we had done. It's always awkward because you try to tell the same stories, you try to tell it the same way, it doesn't come off organic. We're not going to do that. Just know we shared some fun stories, but we're not going to redo it. So
I just want to jump in. I would say if you get I don't know, 1,000 downloads, we will release that because it was my best story of all time. It surpassed the first episode that I did. So if we get 1,000 downloads, we will drop that.
That is not true. We will drop it for 1,000 downloads. It was not better than his first episode, the first story. That's an all-timer. People still talk about that.
I'm doing my best to promote here. So you killed the bit, and I'm trying to help here, but
I'm trying to be honest too. But the point remains, if you want the episode, 1,000 downloads for that episode, we can agree on that.
Okay.
We can agree on that.
Josh is right. It really wasn't that funny. I incriminated several of my elementary school friends. That's all I'll say.
It was like the beginning. It was, some of your stories were like the beginning of Law and Order SVU. What do they say? The stories
the characters in this are fictional, and any similarities are purely coincidental.
Yeah, he didn't do any of that though. He's like, these are true stories, and I'm just gonna leave the names out. So if you know Jordan, he could definitely be talking about you. But anyways, hey man, so Jordan actually brought this topic up to me, and I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know how many people are big onto Reddit, but Jordan made me aware of this. There's basically a thread on there. I don't know if they do this often. You can explain it a little bit more, Jordan, but it's basically am I the a-hole? So AITA. And basically there's these questions people bring up saying, hey, basically, am I in the wrong here? Am I the a-hole in the situation? Or is it the person that I'm dealing with? So that's just my very general understanding of it. Jordan, you could probably explain it a little bit better.
No, this is a new discovery for me. It was to be honest, I was on a break yesterday, and I saw one of those articles you can't believe what this person said to their wife or husband. Yeah. And basically the scenario, we won't do this one because it just reminded me of an Office episode. It's basically, hey, like, am I the a-hole because, I told my husband to shut up because he was speaking in a coded language. So kind of like there's that scene in The Office where Kevin starts speaking in like gibberish and no one can understand. That's basically what it was. And so just reading this full story, it's like, oh, this is kind of right up our alley. Because I think if anything, we're like elite at making fun of people's bad behaviors.
I agree. I can't argue that. We're pretty good at it. So Jordan has picked out four. Looks like four, right? Different. I'm not. I need to get more into Reddit. I'm not super familiar with it. So is it called like just like a headline or a topic, or what would it be called on Reddit?
Not a thread. I don't know. I'm not
thread?
the biggest. I'm not the biggest Reddit guy. So
We'll say a thread topic. These are just thread topics, but they all fall under this category of "Am I the a-hole?" So not that these people wanted our opinions or are going to hear our opinions, but we're going to give our thoughts on some of these different scenarios. So Jordan, what's the first one?
okay, and these are actually pretty long, so I'm gonna try and do my best to summarize. So if you actually find these and read them, I'm probably missing some details. So this one is, am I the a-hole for causing my husband to miss his trip by not packing his bag despite him repeatedly asking? My husband travels for work every few months. He's irresponsible with time and counts on others to do stuff for him using the "I'm tired" excuse. He's the breadwinner, by the way. He had a business trip, and the day of the trip, he saw me carry the laundry basket, and he said, "Hey, can you pack my bag?" I asked why he didn't do it the night before, and he said he was up all night playing Fortnite. He said, I asked him why he can't pack now, and he replied, "I got to go catch up with the boys before I leave." I said no, and that he should do it himself. So then basically this back and forth goes on, and suddenly...
Hold on real quick. I want to pause you real quick. When he says the boys, does he mean his buddies or like their sons?
His kids.
Okay, thank God. I think he meant like his boys.
No. I think that's for another one.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
But she basically responds, "Hey, I have all this stuff to. I have to do laundry. I'm helping the kids cook for them. I'm cleaning them. Like, I just can't do this." So, I suggested he stays home, pack his own bags, and help around until it's time for his trip. He didn't like the suggestion and complained about missing the boys and wanted to see them one last time. So he went inside the bedroom, grabbed all of his keys, his jacket, and his phone, and just left. So it was about 5:00 when he returned, and he kind of comes home very panicky. And so he's just trying to shuffle all of his stuff together because he's upset now that his wife didn't pack his stuff. So he's frustrated, flustered, trying to get all this stuff together. He rushes out of the house. So then about an hour later, I get an angry call from him asking if I was happy. I said, "Why? What happened?" And he said he missed his flight just like I wanted. He then came home and lost it, saying I cost him his business trip, which supposedly earned him money and made him look unreliable and unprofessional. So brutal. I think that's kind of
that sums it up.
Yep, that sums it up.
Yeah. Oh man. So I'm gonna say this, if you don't mind. I'm gonna start this thing off.
Right.
I personally would not ask my wife to pack my bag for me. Now, I understand. I'm going to try to be as fair as possible. I understand that might be the case for some people. That might be the arrangement that they have. That might be something that is the norm for them. It is not the norm for me in my house. I would feel like an incredible douche if that was me. Because you have to, like, if you take, it's one of those situations where I'm sure in the moment this dude felt like he was justified and he felt like he was just speaking truth on the situation. But when you take a bunch of steps back and you're looking at that perspective or that situation from our perspective, he kind of sounds like a baby. It's like, oh, I missed my plane just like you wanted me to. You know what I mean? It's like, what? You're a grown man. Like, what are you doing? Like, it just, you sound like a baby. And I mean, I know no one likes packing for trips. No one likes doing that, but I don't think it's that difficult. Like, I've packed for some bigger trips and not just trips like vacations, but I've packed for some trips where I went, like, I don't think I've shared this on this podcast before, but I had the opportunity to go work at the US Open at Pebble Beach for, I think, 13 days, 12 days. I mean, it's a long time. That's a more stressful trip because you're not only packing stuff that you need for work, but you're packing like dress shoes, you're packing, all of these extra things on top of stuff that you would need just on a normal basis. So even for that, it's like it's still not that difficult to get it done. So I guess I just feel like this is a sad, pathetic situation. And especially like, I guess where were his boys? He had to leave to go see his boys.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, these are all, if you're posting on Reddit, like you're not like grammatically and just like sentence structure isn't going to be like high quality.
Sure.
I'm not really sure. Like he just wanted to see his kids and hang out with them, I guess. So
it could have been like a split family. It could have been they were out at the park playing basketball. I mean, it could have been a bunch of different things. We don't know.
Right. Yeah. Or and I don't know. It might have just been, he can't have the kids pack with. I don't know. It could have been in the other room. They were I don't know why you couldn't do two things at once. Here's the issue. Okay. It's the line where she said, he spent all night playing Fortnite.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, you missed that part.
Yeah,
like
you're
that's
right.
that's the big, like, hey, we got to grow up here. And because honestly, I know of at least one dude in his 30s that has his wife pack his bags because he constantly forgets forgets underwear, forgets like he just forgets stuff. So she has to pack for him.
Sure.
So I think you saying like it's not that hard, like I agree, but it's also like, I think you're underestimating just your ability as a human, because I think it's a far more common, and I just don't trust dudes. I don't trust dudes.
Yeah, but I guess the issue I have with that is I feel like there's ways around that, right? Because there's probably a lot of stuff that we're not good at, but we figure it out. Let me ask you this question. Do you think that guy was automatically good at Fortnite? Probably not. But he spent some time trying to figure out how to get better at Fortnite. So he has the ability to figure out how to pack his bags. If you Fortnite, I'll say this too. I've played Fortnite a few times. For me, incredibly difficult. I know it's a very simple thing, but like I can't like shoot and build stuff at the same time. It's way easier packing a bag, making a list of stuff that you can't forget. So I get what you're saying, and I'm sure it's like I said before. I want to be fair. I'm sure this is a common thing that a lot of people do. But I think when you pair it with the Fortnite thing, when you pair it with him coming back with his arms crossed saying, like, oh, you made me miss my flight. Oh, just like you wanted. It just sounds sad and pathetic. You know what I mean? And it's like when you put all that stuff together, I'm like, man, I feel like you're blaming someone else for your dumb decision and your dumb mistakes. And yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I think that's also the problem, is the aftermath when he comes home and he just pouts like, oh, just like you. Yeah, bro, your wife wanted you to lose out on money. Like, yeah. No, you're just stupid. I didn't get that part, but
Oh, some on my chin. Just trying to drink water and it's just running down my face. Sorry. Yeah, no, I don't think she's not in the wrong. She's not the a-hole in the situation. She seems to be right. That's always the tough thing about these things too. You don't know if they're leaving out any details. The whole time she could have been saying, hey, yeah, I'll pack for you, no problem. I'll pack for you, no problem. She's leaving out that detail, and all of a sudden he's like, wait a minute, you said I was going to pack for you. I don't know. That could be the case, but
he like doesn't have hands. It's like, okay, yeah, she's kind of mature.
Yeah,
like use his mouth to get his socks in. It's like, okay, you can't leave that part out because the dude's walking around with nubs.
Yeah, and then that makes the whole situation of him trying to go see his boys completely different because he's like having to open the door with his mouth. He's trying, what I mean? It's a whole different thing, and it's more of a process than we think. Yeah, but that being said,
it also makes the Fortnite playing more impressive if he's playing just with no hands.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But we're gonna take them at their at face value, and so we're gonna say that what's being said is actually the truth. And yeah, I think he's in the wrong here. This is a bad situation. And again, playing a lot of Fortnite. That concerns me. I mean, here's the thing. You and I, and we've shared this on the show before, you and I, we enjoy playing video games. We'll play Call of Duty together, Warzone. Tell me if I'm wrong, Jordan. There haven't been too many times, if ever, I've said, hey, I have a bunch of stuff. I have a bunch of stuff I need to do. Rachel needs me to do something. The babies need something. I'm gonna play anyways. Not gonna happen. There's been times where I've had to quit, stop in the middle of a game, in the middle of a round because something was needed of me as far as the kids and stuff like that. Or there's nights I said, hey man, can't play because I got a lot of work to do as far as this podcast or other things I'm working on. It's a simple thing, man. Just put down the Fortnite sticks. Do your responsibilities.
You've even stopped for things I don't consider essential, like right in the middle of a mission.
Hey man,
I don't know if we've told that story here.
We have. It's not important. Don't worry about what I do off air. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'm just saying you let the team down just so that you can procreate with your allegedly.
Allegedly, I've never said anything of this nature, but there's been a lot of speculation about this one incident, and we're just gonna leave it there. We're gonna leave it there. Anyways, so that's a good one. I like that one. But yeah, I think that dude's in the wrong for sure.
Okay, well, the next one, I'm just realizing it's just a bunch, like the ones I picked are just a bunch of spouses complaining about their significant others.
I did notice that.
Let's we're gonna be equal when it comes to the genders this time.
Sure.
And this one's unfortunately they removed it from Reddit. I don't know why. So I'm just gonna have to go off of memory. So am I the a-hole if I made my wife stay out of bed until I got home? So basically, you have a guy who kind of works a regular an 8 to 5. He works really hard, kind of makes a little bit more money than his wife. His wife gets home, works lesser hours, and works until 3 o'clock. So essentially, what the wife does is, because her job is, in this guy's words, so stressful, she needs to relax right at 3 o'clock. So she basically walks in the door, drops the kids off in the living room, and basically runs to the bedroom, falls on the bed, and just kind of passes out, relaxes.
Okay.
And in his words, relaxing means play on your phone. So she's not really parenting the kids as they're kind of in the front room. She's on Netflix, Twitter, whatever she does.
Sure.
So when quite consistently the husband comes home to a mess in the living room, and he mentioned specifically stains on the couch, a white couch, like popsicle stains, just mud, dirt, grime, food, chocolate, that sort of thing, while the wife sits on the bed and doesn't do anything. So is he the a-hole if he tells his wife she's not allowed to go to the bed until after 8 o'clock when the kids are down?
Yeah, that's interesting. That's one of those I was mentioning to you earlier, where you read the headline and it seems like a very different thing from what is actually being reported. You know what I mean? Because when you first said that, I thought, oh, so this guy works a later shift and his wife can't go to bed until he goes to bed, or he likes to stay up and watch TV. She can't go to bed until he goes to bed. Like, that's kind of weird. But this seems like a very different situation. And yeah, man, I don't know. That seems like a problem, especially if it's just the Wild West in the living room or the family room. It's probably not good for everybody involved, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you can get away with doing, because they seem like young kids. So I feel like there's also like a safety hazard, know, because like they're 9, they can get into some trouble definitely at that age. But I would be pretty mad at the popsicle stains. Like that distinctly stuck out. And it's like, if you're, little Timmy's just jabbing his little rocket pop in the couch, like that's gonna be a problem for me. Okay.
Sure.
Like we can't have that. Because I don't know. I mean, your kid is at the age where she's eating stuff on the couch has she had like a mess like that where you have to clean it up? Not fun.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, that happens in the car. That happens in even at the table where she's supposed to eat food. That happens. But the difference is my wife or I are there with her. It's not like one of us retreats to the other room and is just, watching Billions on our phone while, the kids are just going wild in the other room. Like we're always, with them. I mean, the most would be, our daughter will run down to her bedroom to like play with her dollhouse or, go grab something. But even then, the amount of time that goes between when she goes down there and when we catch up with her is not very much. So, just hearing that from as a parent, and I don't know how old their kids are. Now, if the kid's 16, leaving rocket pops on the couch, then that's a different conversation. You shouldn't be mad. Shouldn't be mad at your wife. You should probably be mad at your 16-year-old who probably at that point has the ability to drive to the store to buy the rocket pops and then is leaving them on the couch, which unfortunately, and I'm sure that a lot of parents out there that have teenagers that are anywhere between 13 and 18 that live at home, you're probably like, this is not an uncommon thing. We see stuff like this all the time. You're probably right. Like I've been around a lot of athletes and I've seen a lot of teenage boy behavior. I'm sure that you find garbage all over your couch and just ridiculous behavior. But I'm assuming
something else in the couch.
That's a good point. Could be, better a rocket pop stain than other types of stains for sure. That's a good point. Again, other parents that are listening to this are like, oh, we got stories. I'm sure you do. But yeah, no, I think, go ahead.
I would say like kind of going off that, I think you need to cut this behavior off now because that 9-year-old that grows up sticking rocket pops in the couch eventually turns into the kid that you were referring to, 16, and just, can't control himself with yeah, exactly. Just can't control himself.
Yeah. So no, I think so I don't know though. It still seems weird. I mean, maybe it'd be I don't know. It sounds like a situation almost like, hey, you're not allowed to go in the refrigerator until I get home because you can't control yourself with food. It kind of sounds like something similar to that, but I don't know. It's hard. Some of these things are hard too, because you don't know the conversations were like leading up to this or around this. If the dude just walks in and is like, hey, guess what? This place is a mess. You don't go to the bed until I get home. Then it's like, well, that's not much of a conversation. That's just a demand. And that's probably not gonna be super effective. If they've had some conversations and it was one of those things where, hey, if she's like, hey, I'm struggling with this. How do we fix, me being so tired and crashing when I get home? And he's like, well, maybe you're not allowed to go to the bedroom until I get back. It still sounds a little weird, but maybe it's a little bit more planned and calculated. You know what I mean? But on face value, again, it's like, she doesn't go to bed until I get home. It's like, man, this doesn't seem healthy.
No, it sounded like some of the the dominatrix stuff. It's like, hey, like, that's like that one scene in Mad Men when Don Draper tells that lady just to stay in the hotel room and just wait till he comes back.
Oh yeah. I thought you were gonna go with the Billions reference. Anybody who watches Billions, let us know, because it's a great show. We watch that, but it's also a theme in that show too. Probably a little darker than Mad Men for sure. A little darker, but so that's a tough one. Because that's tougher than the previous one. The previous one I felt like was a slam dunk. This guy was in the wrong. This one, I don't know. I mean, if the house is just, basically like a scene from Mad Max, because nobody's watching the kids and you're just passed out or on your phone in the other room. Yeah, maybe that's a good rule. I don't know. Maybe that's a good rule. It's hard for me to say. Can't judge, but it's a tough one to rule on. I'm gonna say it based, if again taking everything at face value, it seems like that might be a necessary rule. As weird as it is.
I feel like there's a middle ground though. I feel like, why can't you just play Candy Crush with the kids present? Like, why do you have to escape to, like, I feel like you're just running away,
Yeah. I mean,
it's basically how I am at like Warzone. Like, I run away from the action and I'm literally on my phone as the action's occurring.
Right. Yeah, that's fair enough. So yeah, that's a good point. Maybe you can be in the room or a room, somewhere near that's you're still, like you said, playing on your phone, watching Netflix, and everybody can be in the same room. You're still present, but not completely all of your attention's not being drawn to all the craziness. Maybe that would help you relax. I don't know.
Netflix is a beautiful thing. You just plop them down and then you don't have to interact with your kids.
Yeah. Well, the Squid Games, right? That's a big show right now. Squid Games.
Well, do you know what that's about?
I actually started, our sister was asking me about that today actually, and I watched a few minutes of it, and then I got distracted with other things. But yeah, it's interesting.
Do you want your 9-year-old watching Squid Games?
No, well, again, I don't know what the age range is, and hey, what's the difference? What are they watching while mom's not in the room, anyways? You know what I mean? So we don't know their situation, but that TV could be full of nonsense while the mom's back in the other room watching, whatever she's watching. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of stuff that you could watch. I'm not suggesting the Squid Games, but find something, something fun, find something fun on the TV. So, all right, what's the next one?
Okay, this one I actually do have the text behind it. So this one is gonna be a little better. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to get up early to make my boyfriend sandwiches? I could go into detail, but I'll keep it short. I've had a job for 3 months. I'm an art instructor. The job isn't crazy, but I stand on my feet painting and cleaning cups and brushes for hours. I often make breakfast and dinner for my boyfriend and I. Not simple-ish either. Steak, po' boys, breakfast burritos, you name it, he cooks on occasion too. My boyfriend just started a new job this week after not working for a while. I went to the store and got him snacks and separated them and out them into baggies when I got off work. Ugh, this is tough. I helped him cook even though I just wanted to sit down. I've barely been home the last few days. I'm off today because I wanted to sleep in, but I woke up early because I had gotten used to it. I didn't get up because I wanted to try to go back to sleep. I noticed it was time for him to go get up, so I tapped him, but he fussed at me and said his alarm was set up later. He gets up 15 minutes later and starts getting ready. I have to pee and I get up. I show him affection, but he has an attitude. Then tells me
what does that mean?
Then tells me to make his sandwiches. I go to make them.
This dude's not a morning person. This dude's not a morning person, huh?
Oh, it gets better. I go to make them. No, it gets better. I go to make them, and he comes in the kitchen and holds up 2 fingers and says, 2 sandwiches, a bag of chips, 1 bag of cookies, and walks away. I said, "Can you ask?" Attitude. I pack his stuff away. I go to hand it to him, and he gives me a weak thank you. I try to get a kiss, and that's weak too. At this point, the food's in my hand still, and I think, boy, I'll throw all this ish on the floor right now, but I maintain my composure.
Man.
Okay, and just a real quick edit. I'm contemplating not making dinner, to be honest. I don't want this to become a pattern.
Interesting. I would love to know if those are normal conversations, or if does that happen for breakfast, lunch, and dinner normally, or is this a new thing? I mean, it kind of sounds like it's a new thing, but it also sounds like I said, not a morning person, that guy. I mean, it starts off with, she taps him, he gets irritated, he's like, "I set my alarm later, shut up." And then it goes to finally gets out of bed, shows no affection, which was kind of a gamble on her part, 'cause I'm not sure. It seems like all the signs are pointing to he's not a morning person, so you're not going to get much affection from him anyways. And then it goes to make me my sandwich. Make me my sandwiches. I mean, this feels like a clear-cut case of we know who's in the wrong, especially if she makes that stuff all the time anyways, making like awesome. I mean, she's making breakfast burritos, po' boys. What'd you say? What else? Casseroles.
Steak.
Steak.
Right.
That's some delicious food. And so, yeah, I mean, to me, it sounds like he's just not like I said, I keep saying it, not a morning person. So he's a little bit of a grumpy bear in the morning.
Yeah, I feel like the affection thing, that's like in the office where like what the general rule is not to schedule a meeting like 30 minutes, the first 30 minutes of the day last 30, like you can't show affection in this case until like 30 minutes he's up and running. I mean, that's kind of what it sounds like to me. That's like the first thing I thought of is the whole, don't have a meeting before, before 9.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. And well, and like we said, like some people are just like some people do really well in the mornings. They're horrible at night. Their clock expires at like 9 o'clock, right? Vice versa. Some people can stay up at all hours of the night, and then you try to wake them up, and you're basically waking up a grizzly bear. They're just, the bad breath, teeth are showing. It's not a great situation, and so he definitely sounds like that. But yeah, definitely aggressive. You just wonder too if there's anything else behind that situation, because even after he had some time to wake up and like she was making his stuff in the kitchen and he throws up the 2 fingers. It's like,
That's
hey,
that's
hey,
the best
hey,
part.
look at me. Two. It's like, oh geez, you really up the disrespect there. I again, and I'm not trying to paint myself in a better light here, but I think you can confirm this, Jordan. I would never do that. I would never do that.
Hey, I would love to see you try. And I would love to hear like a report back. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Rachel just came up, put the 2 up, and just kicked you straight in the balls.
Yeah.
That's just the type of lady, that's just the type of gal Rachel is.
Yeah, or maybe like the 2 fingers up and then pow right in the eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And your kid walks like, hey, what's wrong with daddy? Oh, he's an idiot.
He's
and
an
just
idiot.
walks away.
Yeah, no, I agree. That probably would happen, but it won't happen because I would just never do that. But that being said, like I said, I like to think I'm self-sufficient. I can handle all that stuff myself. Hey man, why don't you, and hey, if he knows that about himself, he's not great in the morning. Maybe he should plan ahead and say, hey, can you make my lunch the next morning? The night before, mention something about the lunch. Not try to communicate all that in the morning because apparently like those lines are crossed and twisted and everything went haywire. So that is very funny. But I think he's in the wrong.
I feel like it's like the packing thing too. It's like you plan this out. Like I make my lunches the night before, and
Right.
just stuff it in the, like, why can't we just do that? Why? I mean, it's a sandwich. Like you just put some peanut butter jelly on some bread and throw it in a paper sack or something.
Yeah, she's probably not going to make it any better than you could make it. You're just lazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, and you can kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't know if these people are podcast people, but hey, download Connectable, throw on the Connectable podcast while you're doing your thing. I'm sure they have wherever that he's doing his packing. He probably has a TV in there or his phone. I catch up on like sports news. I watch like Colin Cowherd. I watch First Take. I'll watch clips of that on YouTube while I'm doing stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It makes the whole thing more enjoyable because I'm like getting that information. I'm watching something that I enjoy and I'm getting stuff done. It's pretty simple. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, I'm trying to help these guys out. Maybe do some of those things to help yourself out and those tasks that you don't like to do. Throw on some music, do something, watch the TV while you're doing it. Like this shouldn't be that hard, guys. You know what I mean? It should not be that hard.
Right. And if you're like the lady in the second prompt, that's just like, if you don't like your kids, that's just a time away from their kids. You have like a legit excuse and you're not playing Fortnite. It's like, oh, I've got to go make my lunch. And that just takes an hour and a half. And I just want to point out, like, if you are doing like a peanut butter and jelly, which I don't know if that's what this dude wants, like having the peanut butter and jelly marinate overnight, that's a pro tip. I mean, that's a pretty good situation.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I prefer it a little fresher. Hey, you know what though? It's a great compromise.
Crustables.
Uncrustables right. Are fire. And so if there's any parents out there, you don't even need to be a parent. I'm gonna let everybody know that because who knows? You might. I used to think this. You pass the Uncrustables and think, oh, that's for kids. It's not for kids, people. It is not for kids. They are delicious. I love Uncrustables. They found like the perfect combination of peanut butter and jelly, the bread. All of it's perfect. I love it. So that dude just needs to get a box of Uncrustables and shut his mouth. You know what I mean?
Or speaking with like the kid theme, just get a couple Lunchables. That's basically a charcuterie board.
That's a great call. That is a charcuterie board.
That's good. I thought that about that like 1 o'clock the other night, and I was like my mind was blown. I was gonna tweet it, and I saw that like 72 other people have already tweeted that. So that's not original thought. I thought it was, and I was like I thought it was gonna be like my Wire tweet 2.0, where it's just like thousands of people like it, and it's been done before. So that was embarrassing.
That Wire, that might have been a shooting star. I believe you've got more good tweets in you, but that was a different situation.
No, that crew roll, they're loyal. So you know what? I think you're right. I think that's kind of a one and done for me. I should retire from Twitter.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Because like in your first episode, we went back to your Twitter and reread some stuff. So, which actually might be something I do tonight. I might pull that up because we only have one more topic.
We actually have two more. If you're, I don't know time wise if you're good. I picked up another one just because I don't know.
Hit me with two.
4 seemed weird. So okay. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to wear a tracksuit to my best friend's wedding?
No.
This already sounds ridiculous, and I can't believe I'm even writing this, but here it goes. One of my best friends is getting married. I've known her since elementary school, and ever since we've known each other, we've always been completely different people. Yet we somehow managed to stay great friends. Her future and husband and her bonded over very mutual hobbies, blah, blah, blah. They're perfect for each other. So when they asked me to be the maid of honor, I was excited, and I couldn't wait to become an even more important part of their lives. That hasn't felt till a few days ago. She told me they were planning a very private ceremony. I was completely supportive and was really looking forward to celebrating. I just wanted her to have the perfect day. Then the following conversation occurred. Fiance and I decided to get married in tracksuits. I think it really reflects who we are. I'm going to wear a white one, and he's going to wear a black one. You and best man can choose which color tracksuit you want, but they both have to be the same color and the same style as us. Me. What? You're joking, right? You're going to wear tracksuits on your wedding day? Her. Well, I can't see myself wearing a wedding dress, and I definitely can't see him wearing a suit. Me, yes, but you can at least wear something semi-formal, a nice blouse and shoes and pants, maybe, and he can wear a nice shirt and pants. This is a wedding. I'm not really comfortable wearing a tracksuit either. Can I at least wear a dress? Her, you're missing the point. It's supposed to be a theme wedding. Like we're all wearing the same tracksuits, only different colors. You can't wear a dress. Me, I really want you to have your perfect day, but this all seems really trashy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. That's hilarious. I would hate to be a part of that because I would not want to wear a tracksuit. I didn't realize you got a topic from Tony Soprano. I guess that's who's getting married. It's like a Italian mobster. Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. I think this is pretty clear cut. If you accepted the invitation to be a part of the wedding party, this is part of the deal, man. Like you kind of have to wear it. I'm sure if you look across the board at anybody who's been involved in a wedding, I'm sure there's men and women who were told they were wearing a certain color or a certain cut of suit or dress that they weren't thrilled about. But that's part of the game. It's not really your day. It's their day. It's also not really your responsibility to tell them that if you think it looks trashy, because if they're hyped about it, great. It's their day. So be it. You can make fun of it. You can start your own podcast and talk about how ridiculous their setup was. But I think if you agree to be a part of the wedding party, if you agree to that, and they're not, because it didn't sound like she was asking his opinion. He was giving the opinion, and she was just saying, "Hey, you have like 5 options of colors, but it's got to be the same tracksuit." And he's like, "This is stupid." Again, not really your place. Like you weren't asked for your opinion, so in that situation, your opinion really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like weddings are weird, man. People there's never like a consistency in the wedding. Like I feel like if you're on it related to, in this case, I think it was the bride, like you're going to say how ridiculous it is. But if like the tables were turned and like the person that is in your life and that you care about didn't want to do something, it would be, like the world's falling apart. Right. I feel like weddings just get like that where it's, something like, hey, your so-and-so's not getting invited. and they get offended, but then like they would turn around and they probably wouldn't invite you. So it's like, I feel like there's always just weddings are just weird. I've only been to yours, to be honest. But it is strange, and it is tough when you're forced to wear that stuff, because I'm not, I don't know. I wouldn't be pumped just to be forced to wear something, especially a tracksuit. I mean, it's kind of like I don't know if people have seen this movie. I think we've mentioned it before. She's out of my league, or she's
Right.
out of your league.
Right.
Where the main character's brother and sister-in-law, they want to do like the NASCAR theme where he's wearing the jumpsuit and she was going to do the checker flag dress. That's kind of what it reminded me of.
Sure.
And if we're gonna make recommendation, I think you just gotta like lean really into the trashiness and make it like that's the joke, that's the gimmick. It's gotta be ironic.
Yeah, that's a great call. Yeah,
because I'm gonna be honest, after seeing all these wedding photos over the past couple of years, none of them are unique.
Right.
Like at least this is unless you're Tom Brady and Giselle, just beautiful people. Like no, you're not special. So just, do go the opposite way. Wear some Jordans or something. I don't know.
But see, even Tom and Giselle, they're not the only beautiful couple out there. You know what I mean? So
right,
even
exactly.
them, even them, it's like, yeah, there's others out there that are doing this very similar thing. And a wedding that costs, probably thousands and thousands, maybe millions of dollars to put on. So yeah, no, I'm with you. That's a great call. You almost need to treat it like a costume party. You know what I mean? Go all out.
Right. And no one's going to judge you. They're not going to be up watching you, in the front during the ceremony and say, oh, why did she choose it? Like they know why you chose the tracksuit. You
didn't, right? They know that you were forced to be in a tracksuit and you had no choice. Can't be mad at that.
If you're single, maybe you get like a sympathy number. Some dude feels bad for you, and he gives you his number, and that's a real love story right there. And it all started with the tracksuit.
That's right. See, as you put a positive spin on that. I like that. Mm-hmm. That's the way you need to look at it. So again, like I said, this is not really your responsibility to try to change their mind. Now, if it was a couple, if this question or this story came from a couple and the husband or wife or the man or the woman that were getting married were saying, hey, my fiance wants to do this and I don't, that would be a completely different story. But you're just being invited to be a part of this special group to celebrate this special day. So you kind of have to suck it up. So throw on your tracksuit, your Adidas, and get out there and have a good time. Sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you know what?
The gold chain. Put the gold chain on too.
Right, you've got to do the whole ensemble.
Sunglasses, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know it's a little bit different, but it kind of reminds me of like Jonah Hill from War Dogs. Like super tan.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't think he ever wore or did he wear a tracksuit in that? I don't know.
I never saw the movie, but
maybe it's like Pain and Gain, like kind of like Pain and Gain with The Rock and Wahlberg and Anthony Mackie, and like they're all bodybuilders. I think they were wearing tracksuits in those too.
Wait, does Jonah Hill do it in Superbad? Is it like a blue tracksuit, or am I?
Oh, he does wear it in Superbad. Yeah, the blue tracksuit.
It's kind of Superbad-ish.
Hey, see, think of it that way. That'd be fun. Put on the fake afro and just go for it. It'll be fun. So yeah, sorry though. I'm glad I'm not in your position wearing a tracksuit. But if you have to do it, you have to do it. All right, what do we got next?
Okay, last one. Am I the a-hole for causing my husband to miss his brother's wedding by having him fix the toilet? To start, me and my husband's brother, aka my brother-in-law, have always been on bad terms. We don't see each other, and we're not really mean to each other, but more like don't like each other. This is clearly Rachel talking about me, and I don't appreciate it. My brother-in-law, now it's not about me. My brother-in-law was getting married this past week. He only invited my husband, which is really fine because I wasn't planning on attending his wedding anyway. Really no big deal. The day of the wedding, my husband couldn't take the day off, but got home early to get ready to go to the wedding, which was 3 hours away. The toilet stopped working and needed to be fixed. Okay, so here's the kicker. I'm 7 months pregnant and I frequent the bathroom many times a day. I asked my husband 5 minutes to look at the toilet and he suggested he fix it when he gets back. but the smell of unflushed pee gets me nauseous. So I tried to convince him to at least try it and make it work. He took a look and said it might take 10 to 15 minutes. He took too long and didn't pay attention to time. He freaked out, saying he should be driving at the time, but I insisted he finish fixing the last part, and he barely did. He was mad, got dressed quickly, and left. Turns out he arrived late and missed the ceremony and made it to the last part of the wedding. He was mad at me for causing him to miss the huge part of his brother's wedding and said his brother was upset and disappointed he wasn't there to support him. He argued, saying I made him late only because I couldn't go to the wedding, but I said that's not true because even if I had sent an invitation, I would have declined to come. He then said that it must be because I hate his brother, and what I did was petty attempt to make him miss his wedding, especially since I could have waited till he got home to fix the toilet. He's still mad at me for missing the wedding till this day.
Ooh, that is a tough one. So I'm guessing they only had one bathroom. It's supposed to be like a one bathroom situation.
I mean, it would have to be, yeah.
Can you imagine if there was two bathrooms and she's like, oh, I didn't think about that. And the guy's like, oh, I didn't think about that either. You got me. You tricked me. Yeah, no, that would be, yeah. I mean, I could understand how he'd be upset, but they said that the brother and him weren't on good terms. Or the brother,
the author and the brother-in-law.
Yeah. So if him and his brother were on good terms, then that is pretty rough. Like I think at a certain point, and I get the nauseous thing, but I think at a certain point you'd have to be like, I understand this is really important. I hate the dude's guts, but I understand that this means a lot to my husband. So just, you're free. Get out of here. Go. Because it kind of sounds like she was aware of the time. And she was kind of keeping an eye on the time. Like this feels like a little bit of a setup, like a little bit of a screw you to the brother, and just got him distracted. And I'm not gonna say she made him miss the wedding, but like one of those subconscious things, right? You know what I mean? Where she's just like, oh no, just take 15 minutes to fix it, and then all of a sudden 15 turns into a couple of hours. It just feels a little bit like a setup.
I'm not going to say that. I don't want like a pregnant hive to come after me. So we respect pregnant women. I'm on her side, and I am going to steal from one of the commenters. So a commenter is commenting, giving the verdict, and I thought this was pretty good. Yep, pregnant isn't helpless. The phone works. If it's yellow, let it mellow. Take a shower. There were options. This was pure spite. So this guy has a different opinion than us. I mean, he clearly wasn't a fan of the wife doing that. So I mean,
but that's kind of what I'm saying too. It does feel a little bit spiteful. There's that, I don't know. I can't get away from that. Like I'm not saying 100% that this was a setup, but it does feel a little bit spiteful. So here's the thing. I can imagine him walking into the house and being frustrated, like, I missed the entire wedding because of that stupid toilet. And then she gives him the Jordan shrug and then walks off. You know what I mean? I could just say like, it's all good. You know, you missed the wedding. So what? I just feel like there was maybe some callousness towards the brother, and that probably didn't help the situation either. So I'm not going to say I do like the idea that the guy said, hey, just take a shower and pee in the shower. Really thinking outside the box. You remember when we went to game 5 of the NLCS in 2014 for the Giants. And I don't know if anybody has ever been to a playoff sports game, but tell you what, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, those bathrooms are insane. Literally you cannot pack any more people inside these bathrooms. You literally have, like, if you're a guy and you're at the urinal, you literally have someone in your back pocket helping you and holding your hips as you're going. Like it's a ridiculous situation. And when we went to that game, I was going to the bathroom, and I just heard this one guy say, he's like, F it. And then he went over to the trash can, and his buddy followed him, and his buddy peed in the sink. It becomes survival of the fittest, or the most unashamed. So, that was a sidetrack. It just reminded me of that, I guess if you really had to go and you didn't have an operational toilet, like, you would figure it out. Again, it's tough to say to a pregnant lady, but
I thought you were talking about our annual Thanksgiving vacation that we take as a family, where there was a bet on the drive up that one of us three boys could pee sitting on the toilet and shoot it into the bathtub. I thought that's where you're going to go with that. And, I wouldn't have been mad at it because I feel like people
funny.
bet me. And I was very confident and I got cold feet. I got scared. I couldn't do that to the maids. Like that would have been so inappropriate. I was thinking about this the other day. We're not well behaved, like for as mature as people think we are, like public facing.
Sure.
Like we do really stupid stuff at hotels. Like there's a sense of boldness that we do, like that we get when we're at hotels, and it's really not good. It's embarrassing. Like you have kids. I'm closer to 30 than 20. Like we got to do better.
Yeah, probably not going to happen. But yeah, and I want to make this very clear to everybody. It's not malicious stuff. Like we don't like stuff that's like we don't like destroy anything. We don't cause damage. None of that because like we don't find that stuff funny. But yeah, just like dumb stuff. Like there was one time we stayed at a hotel as a family that had this crazy long hallway, and so we basically thought, hey, do you think it's possible to like bowling style roll this bouncy ball all the way from one end to the other? People were coming back getting ice. Like, why are these two people? And our youngest brother was there too. It's like, why are these three guys just rolling this ball like toddlers back and forth to each other? Like it's dumb stuff like that. So I'm gonna make it very clear. We're not menaces. We're just idiots.
I feel like you're also bearing the lead though, because at the other end of the hall, we had kind of our legs spread out and we were trying to hit the other person in the nuts. So let's not bury the lead. It wasn't just.
You're right. I forgot about that.
Because that would be stupid if we were just rolling a ball like bowling style. We had to have an object because we're all competitors, always compete.
Always compete. Character combine. And that's right.
Like if a vacation doesn't end with someone getting hit in the nuts, like the dude's vacation. I mean, I think
we probably weren't there.
Right. Your wife was close by in that case.
Yeah. I feel like that would be a good top 5, huh? Hotel things. I don't know exactly what the topic would be. Hotel stories, hotel
mischief,
or things that you look for at a hotel, like dumb things you look for at a hotel. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to explore that a little bit. But
yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So we were talking about the pregnant lady.
Yeah, you know what? I think you might be onto something. Are we sure she didn't intentionally just grab a wrench and start hitting stuff before he came home to break it? Because I don't know about you, like toys don't break that often. Like they're pretty durable. Yeah. Like if they're a baseball player, they play 150 games.
Yeah, I would even say 155. I mean, they're pretty solid. Yeah, I mean they get clogged a lot. You know what I mean? Like that's something that can happen. But actually breaking, I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, sure. check everything. Do a little CSI. Check out the crime scene. Make sure everything was on the up and up, because you're right, she could have just taken, kind of like, again, we keep referencing The Office, but when Andy wants a new computer, he's putting pieces of bologna in the CD drive. He's downloading all the clicking on all the pop-ups and the like the malware and all that stuff. So I don't know. I'm just saying this one doesn't feel right. I feel like there was a little bit, even if it was a subconscious thing, I feel like this was something that the wife wanted to happen. I'm gonna be honest. And here's the thing: even if she didn't want it to happen, I don't think there's that much empathy towards his situation either. She's not really. I hate that dude's guts. So what? He like, you missed his wedding. It's not that big of a deal. We don't like him anyways. So I think, yeah, I that was a tough one. That is a really tough one, because I think at face value, it's messed up. Then it's like, well, she is pregnant. Is there maybe it was a tough situation. And then you're like, but she really sounds like she doesn't like that brother. So now I'm starting to lean towards the guy's side. It was probably wrong.
Okay. I think like I said, for the sake of the pregnant women out there, I gotta, that's a fierce group. So we gotta support the women. So
there you go. It was a good choice.
Yep.
It's a good choice. Was that the last one?
That was the last one.
That was fun. We'll have to do that again. We'll have to do that when Deb's on here.
We need a woman, a woman's perspective on this, definitely, because she's not an idiot. So
no, and I would call her like we've done before, but I think I believe she's playing soccer right now. So not going to do that. But
I'm sure we'll hear about it next week.
yes, we will. Yes, we will. Now he's trying to entrap me into talking trash. I will not do it. I'm a man of my word. I said I wouldn't do it. I'm not going to, man. That being said, we still have a little bit of time left before we wrap this thing up. Because as you know, if you guys have listened to this podcast, anytime the two of us get on here, it tends to be a little long. So I'm going to read a couple of Jordan's tweets. We've done that. We did this on the very first episode, and that he did with us, and it's always fun. We just like to have him explain himself. So I'm not going to read any of the stupid Dodgers stuff. I'm going to just ignore that. But
full this might backfire, but full transparency, I am watching the Dodgers Padres game.
What's the score?
No, I'm not much of a seam head. So can you give me a back? How are the Padres doing this season?
I don't know, man. All I know is that next to their name, there's a little E in the standings, which I forgot what that stands for. But
again, I'm not a baseball fan, so like, there's no way this could come back to haunt me. So I'm not in the know about how the Padres did, but I'm sure they're a fun group of people, and I'm sure they were humbled during the off season beforehand, and I'm sure they'll be humble after the season.
You can't tell Jordan has a beef with Padres fans. Jordan, I'll tell you what. So here's the deal. I'm a Giants fan. Jordan's a Dodgers fan. We're both big baseball fans, despite the nonsense he just spewed. Big baseball fans, and I'll tell you what. I know Jordan's least favorite team is still the Giants, but I'll tell you what, this year, the Padres and the Astros have made a very strong push, because I've heard him talk about them a lot more than Giants fans this year. And it's rare for him. If you know him, it's very rare, but you're not a fan of those guys.
I will say, like, I was thinking about, like, just with the postseason. And like I said, if this comes back to haunt me and, the Dodgers losing the wild card game, I'm going to just want to die in a hole. So don't send me this clip. I was saying beforehand, or I was thinking earlier today, like, teams you don't want to lose to in the playoffs. I think number one's Houston still. Like, that would literally crush me if we lost to Houston in the World Series. Yeah. Second was the Giants. And third was definitely San Diego. But
yeah, well, there's like, you hear these rivalries and this hatred between teams. Like, after you and I went to a Giants Astros game this year, and I'll tell you what, I think it makes me rethink this idea of what hatred looks like between fans, because that was probably one of the worst. Like, that was such a brutal game to go to, because the Astros fans were horrible, and I'm all for, like, I'm fine with trash talk. I don't get my feelings hurt. I'm fine with you rooting against my team. I'm fine with your team winning in our ballpark. I'm all good with all that stuff. The Astros fans definitely ratcheted it up to another level, and just said some wild things. And there's just like a mean atmosphere in the air. I'm like, I have never experienced that at a baseball game before, even going to Giants Dodgers games over the years. Never experienced it. And then later we went to a Dodgers Giants game, and it made it seem incredibly peaceful, which is not what you would expect. Like, people were like high-fiving, handshakes between teams, like laughing about the trash talk. Like, it was a very bizarre situation, a very bizarre juxtaposition between those two games. And yeah, so I can understand why losing to the Padres the Astros would be tough.
Yeah.
So anyways, this is not a sports podcast, but we love sports though, so we had to sneak it in there somehow. So that being said, let me see.
I don't know if I've been tweeting that much lately.
Not much, but I did see one. Hold on. Okay, I like this one, because we've talked about we're both big fans of energy drinks. So it says, vicious caffeine cycle. Number 1, wake up tired. Number 2, need caffeine to get through the day. Number 3, drink too much caffeine. Number 4, can't sleep at night. 5, repeat steps 1 through 4 the next day. That's like that Brian McKnight song. Back at 1. I drink too much caffeine. That was pretty good. Yeah. So tell us about that. Tell us about your caffeine problem. Because here's the thing. Let me just tell people this too. Caffeine really affects you, and you could drink it like at noon, and it's going to affect you for a long time throughout the day. I can have an energy drink and then say, you know what, I'm kind of tired, and go to bed, and I'll be out. Like, it doesn't affect me the same way. So your vicious cycle is interesting to me because I don't have that same thing. So walk us through your process.
Yeah, so like I wake up tired lately. I don't know why it just happens. I feel like it's the daylight savings time too. So losing an hour of sleep, it still affects me all the way till October, September. Um, and it's problematic because on my commute, I still go to the office every day and I pass a 7-Eleven. And so every morning it's like a battle, like, hey, do I stop off and get like a energy drink at the 7-Eleven or not? And then that battle continues to my first break. I decide if I need to walk to the gas station, my lunch, my second break. And then when I come home, there's always like a can of soda that I could just always pop open. So at a certain point, depending on the energy drink, I've kind of perfected it to where I know I can, you know, I can drink this and not have too much of an issue.
Sure.
But yeah, then I can't sleep at night. And like once I feel like I have issues sleeping in general, whether it's like a temperature thing or just my mind is racing. So you can clearly see after that day, I tweeted another thing on the 21st, but that was just at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was just sitting here. I was refreshing all social media and no one was doing anything. So I just kept doing that over and over again. And that's why I finally just tweeted. It's like posting on it on social media when normal adults are like sleeping just feels like the adult version of being like the last kid to fall asleep at a sleepover.
Yeah, 100%. You're right. Everybody else is getting ready for a productive day, and you're just trying to end your previous day.
Right. And like they're still like at any point they could wake up, so you can't do anything bad.
Right.
Because they'd still know, but it's also like I also could say whatever I want, quickly delete it, and who would really know?
It's true. Yeah, no, I was wondering about that because I've never really seen you lay out like you said, the vicious cycle before. Yeah, that's tough. Like I said, man, I don't have that issue. As weird as that sounds, I can drink an energy drink or a soda, and I'm good. Like if here's the thing, if I drink one to help me stay awake, it will do the trick. But if I have my mindset on going to sleep or doing something else or just relaxing, I will not be kept up. It's a really strange thing. Probably means I have a problem. But for another podcast, we can talk about my caffeine problem. And this one, I'm gonna be honest, this one's not yours, but I just realized that it was something that I tweeted that you retweeted. So I'm gonna say this one. This is actually for me. Does anyone else stop before grabbing hot clothes out of the dryer because you're trying to remember how many metal zippers might be in there ready to attack? This is a real fear of mine because anytime I go get laundry and you hear the buzzer or you hear the bell, you know the clothes are done. You know those clothes are piping hot. I'm walking through there like someone in a horror movie who's walking through a graveyard waiting for a zombie to grab their ankle. That's what it feels like. And I'm really trying to process before like I open the lid and I'm trying to process. Okay, do I have any zip up hoodies in here? Do I have any pants with metal like tassels? What is in here? Metal buttons. It's terrifying. In fact, the one that got me the worst was I got these Under Armour joggers a while ago. Didn't realize that the little end of the drawstrings were metal. I just two-handed grabbed them and burnt my hand. It's the worst. I hate being surprised, just like I hate being shocked by like a slide. Like when I'm at the park with my kids, you get shocked by slides. I hate that stuff. I hate getting shocked by metal. I hate getting surprised by metal, hot metal, zippers, buttons, whatever you have on your clothes. I hate that. It makes me so terrified to reach in. I'm gonna start wearing gloves when I pull out the laundry. That's how bad it is. I hate it.
Yeah, get some isotoners or something.
Yeah. Sure.
I feel like I'm not going to make an OJ comment because I've made an OJ tweet before that did not go over well.
Yeah, let me explain what happened. So I know I've shared this before, but sometimes Jordan will send me something. It's like, hey, what do you think about this tweet? Is this too far? And I let him know. I give him my honest opinion. And then sometimes he tweets stuff. First of all, like the stuff he tweets me is not even that bad. I'm like, you could have just tweeted this and not even asked for my opinion. And then other times I scroll through Twitter and I see what he tweets and like, that was probably the one that you should have sent me to see, hey, is this too far? Case in point, Jordan decided to make an OJ tweet and didn't even mention it to me. And I'm like, hey man, I texted him like, hey, I don't know if you meant to send this to me or forgot to send it or what, but That might have been the one to send, because everything else you've sent me for like censorship up to this point wasn't even that bad. That one though, that one could get you in some trouble. I wish I could remember what it was, but
Oh,
probably,
I remember it.
it's probably not important. Move on.
Yep.
So yeah,
Nothing racist. I just want to throw that out there.
nothing racist. I feel like that was around the same time that Chappelle dropped his first Netflix special. So I feel like he did that whole OJ thing, and I feel like you were inspired a little bit by that. And it's like, hey, if Chappelle can do it, let Jordan Takimoto give it a shot. Guess what?
He doesn't
work. Yeah, no hate at all for Dave Chappelle. Yeah, that's funny. But no, anyways, yeah, the clothes thing, and I can't avoid it. That's the thing too. That's what terrifies me, is I can't avoid it either. So even if I'm super careful, something will hit my forearm, something will hit my little finger, burn it all the time. I hate it.
So like, I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you do Rachel's laundry too?
Yeah, I mean, I'll help with any laundry. Like we both do laundry.
I guess this is tough with her just because of what she wears. Is it just me? Like, I don't feel like I'm a stupid guy. Like when it comes to women, are some of those blouses like impossible to like fold and rearrange and get like right? Like, or am I just really stupid?
No, some of those things, it does feel like a Rubik's Cube at times. I'm like, I know this thing is inside out. Maybe it's not inside out. Wait, maybe it is. I can't tell anymore. Yeah, no, I've been there before where there's just a lot of elements to it where for me, a t-shirt, you know which way is inside out. With those blouses and some of that stuff. Yeah, you're right. It is a little tricky sometimes. I know I'm fully aware and willing to admit I'm not the smartest guy in the world. And so I'm glad that you have trouble with it as well, because it's difficult.
I feel like there are two things in this world designed to confuse men that are geared towards women. It's blouses, like trying to fold those, and then the deals at Bath and Body. Like I feel like that like I call it Bath and Body calculus, because you like it's a 2-for-1, but like there's also a 3-for-5. And I feel like it just adds up on dudes, and they don't even like I can figure that one out. I can't figure out the blouse situation. So I need maybe Rachel or my sister come in and show me how to do this, because I feel like it's going to be a problem like in like years to come.
Yeah, maybe this is the episode. This is a topic we should have saved for Deb. So I don't know if Deb frequents Bath and Body for soaps and lotions, but I agree with you. It's one of those things where I have to almost go in if I'm getting a gift for someone, just knowing it's like, you know what, I'm going to get one thing, and then I'm just going to have to eat the cost. Like if it's more expensive doing it the way I'm doing it, so be it, because I'm horrible at math. People, I made it. Well, actually, I'm not going to say what I was about to say. Never mind. I was trying to explain to our youngest brother how bad I was or am at math, and he didn't believe me. And I tried to put it into perspective for him. He just wouldn't buy it. But I'm really bad at math. Numbers don't click with me. And so yeah, that what'd you say? Bath and Body calculus.
Yeah,
scares me. So I'm like, well, I have to bring like my sister with us or with me, because she's a math teacher. So I'm like, hey, why don't you come along with me? And she's like, you have to go to Bath and Body, don't you? It's like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. And you know that I'm not smart enough to do the math by myself. So just help me out. And so I'll buy you dinner or something. Let's have a fun sibling trip. Let's knock this thing out. But yeah, no, it is tough going in there. It is tough going in there.
I feel like there's two types of dudes in this world, and they struggle with one of them. Like I don't know a guy that can do both. I don't know.
They can do what?
The folding of the blouses.
And
untangling them. You got like straps and wires all over, or do the Bath and Body, like, because eventually like you're up at the register and it's like, hey, if you buy 7 more, you'll get 4 off, right? And it's like, I don't know, like that's how dudes react. So I feel like I can master that one, but we got to work on the blouses.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder if our dad's ever gone into Bath and Body to buy stuff. I feel like that could get crazy.
Yeah, they would target. That would be like predatory. I don't even know. Like that would be like malpractice if they, like, I would have to call some sort of regulatory body to say, hey, they're I don't know if it's elder abuse, but they're targeting my guy, and like they know he has no clue.
Something's messed up here. Remember that one time you and I were doing some Christmas shopping together? This is years ago, and we went to one of the local Bath and Bodies, and instead of having a security guard there, they basically had a pimp but like the way that guy was dressed, and you know that he was just hitting on every woman that came through there. He was probably he was probably like 75,
Probably.
maybe 80. I mean, he was an old dude, but yeah,
But a youthful old guy, because
yeah,
he was
and
smooth.
oh, super smooth. And he wasn't wearing the normal security guard stuff. Like he literally looked like a pimp. The only thing he was missing was the cane, like with like the golden fist at the top.
Mhm.
He was literally the Bath and Body pimp. And I just am like, I don't know. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I've never seen a security guard look like that before.
It was like the scene in The Other Guys where Will Ferrell progressively gets more like that's who he was,
Gator.
because like it's Gator, because
Gator.
like he basically, and he talked to us for a long time. Like I said, very smooth, like spit game. So you know
Yeah.
why the ladies loved him.
Right.
But he was talking about how he used to be a bodyguard for Victoria's Secret, and then he like moved. So I don't know. He was just,
And then
that guy's still out there
centerfolds.
somewhere.
Yeah,
He's
he's
still,
just
doing
still
his thing.
doing his thing. Yeah, he loves lotion. He loves good scents. Yeah, that was an interesting thing. And you know he was a security guard because he still had like he still put the he still put the like the patches on his pimp suit. You know, like where it shows like the company's name and it shows his name. Like he still had all that stuff. He's just like, hey, this normal uniform, this is trash. I'm not wearing this. Like, do you see how I look? Do you see the way I roll? I'm too good for a stupid security guard suit. I'm wearing my own. Throw the patch on if you want, but I'm wearing my own thing. But yeah, no, that was fun. That was a fun experience seeing that guy at the store. There was one time, this is sorry, now we're off track. We're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. But there was one time that Rachel and I were at the mall, at the Galleria Mall, and we were upstairs and we were walking past and we kind of just did like a double take down to the lower floor. But there was a kid, probably about 6 years old, 5 or 6. He was in the display window for one of these shops, like a women's clothing shop. And he was down there and he was kind of just, on the display board, kind of weaving his way around mannequins. And we stopped what we were doing and we looked down, we were watching him. It's like, what is this kid doing? And it's the mall, right? So you see kids acting wild at the mall. You see them climbing on stuff that they're not supposed to be climbing on. You see them in the display window when they're not supposed to be there. So that wasn't it's like, that's whatever. That's fine. The weird part was he stopped at one of the mannequins that was closer to his height. He grabbed the mannequin with his right hand around the back of her head, tipped it, and just started making out with it. 5 or 6 year old just starts making out with this mannequin. We were dying laughing. It was the funniest thing. And he's like caressing her cheek again, like tipped her, kept kissing her. It's like, man, this kid is really going after this mannequin. I've never seen anything like that. Even there was a security guard that was right outside that store from downstairs. He was just looking, laughing too. He's like, what am I supposed to do about this? Like, I'm not gonna arrest this kid. Yeah, he's disturbing this display, but he's having a very intimate moment with his mannequin. I can't interrupt love. So
don't say no to love.
Don't say no to love. And so don't say, even if it's a mannequin, don't say no to love. That's the key to the story. But yeah, I'll never forget that. You see weird stuff at the mall. Weird stuff.
You do. How much time do we have? I mean, are we trying to wrap up or
Hey, go ahead. Couple more.
I have a security guard story, and let's be honest, it's just going to be the am I the a-hole for me? I need live am I the a-hole advice.
All right, let's have it.
So I work in a building with a couple other companies in it. So there's about 4 of us. So we have a building security guard. Okay. And I try and keep my headphones in. I'm antisocial. I don't like talking to people. I keep my head down, go to the bathroom, try and get out the door to just walk around the parking lot like I normally do. Probably a year or 2 ago, probably 2.5 years ago, he pulled me aside and he's just like, hey man, what are you listening to? And I was like, oh, just some podcasts. I try not to get into specifics. Again, I believe in the path of least resistance in terms of socializing. Anyone who's talked to me knows that that's the deal. So I said, oh, some podcasts, and he just keeps kind of like poking and like trying to gnaw and trying to get the information. So it's like, oh, like I finally just give him a little bit more. Oh, it's some sports stuff. So the guy's like, oh, do you like Rogan? I was like, I'm not, I wouldn't call myself a Rogan fan, but, I like some of the MMA fighters. That was kind of when I was watching a lot of MMA, some of the comedians and stuff like that. oh, you're like, so he's like, oh, you're an MMA guy. And it's like, oh no. He's like, well, me and Mario, on our lunch break, we go and do karate. And it's like, oh, okay. He's like, you should come out sometime. And it's like, yeah, maybe I might do that. So that was for a while. I told the women in the office, and they gave me a hard time about it. So I think for my birthday one year, they bought me nunchucks. And just to add on, they took that scene from Step Brothers and they signed it by Randy Jackson, like the sword was.
That's so
funny.
that
was very funny. So, but now it gets worse. Last week, we talked, and I try and be cordial and cool to the guy. Like he has a tough job. He's lonely.
Sure.
People are, he's just lonely. He's an older guy, so people probably aren't the nicest to him either. So I try and be kind sometimes, and I'll say hello, how's it going? So eventually we learned each other's name. There's a little bit of an incident that I had to report to him. So now he knows my name. So the other day I'm walking around the parking lot, and he's just kind of at his car eating his bean burrito. And all of a sudden, like I have the AirPod Pros, and so I can kind of hear the outside noise. Like I thought I heard him say something, but I wasn't sure, so I just kept walking. And he kind of tracked me down, got in front of me, tracked me down. It's like, hey, come over here, come over to my car real quick. Yikes! So he's like, I want to show you something. So he pulled, and he has like this. I don't even know if I should say this. I don't think he'll listen. I can't imagine, but he has like if anyone knows this guy, if I like the guy, it's a funny story.
If you do, if you do listen, don't take this on the podcast. He's operating as his own entity. Don't give us a 1-star review for anything that's said from this point forward.
Yes. So he has a yellow Jeep, like an old school yellow Jeep. So he pulls like the trunk open, and he has all this like old school karate gear. And it's like, so I promise, dude, like we can train and you won't get hurt. Like we have gloves and headgear. And I was showing some dude the other day, like I can punch him in the face and like he feels nothing. So I'm just saying, like, I know we've talked about this before. If you want to train at lunch, like I lost my one partner. By the time I get home, it's dark to go to the park. And it's like, I just, it's so boring and lonely. And I just want someone to spar with. Then I said, for me, I'm probably not interested. So I had to shut it down. So sure. All that to say, and, he was fine with it. He was cool. He's like, all right, just let me know. So I need the people of the podcast to tell me if I'm an a-hole for shutting that down.
No, absolutely not. And I also want to go back a little bit to this idea that he lost his partner. I'm wondering if the partner didn't come back because he said, hey, let me show you how I can punch you in the face, even when you're wearing headgear, and it won't hurt. I think...
Who are we dealing with? Are we dealing with Johnny Lawrence here? Why is he trying to recruit a grown, like I'm going to consider myself a grown adult. Why is he trying to recruit me?
Yeah. Season 4 or 5 of Cobra Kai. You could be a part of that, man.
Yeah, I could, honestly. Cause he kind of has he does kind of have, Kreese? He kind of has Kreese. A little bit between Kreese and Lawrence. Like that's kind of his look. He's a little slender like Lawrence, but kind of has a, rugged face like Kreese.
Yeah. Well, and never go up to a person you don't know very well and say, hey, come to my car. I want to show you something. That's never really a good thing to say to anybody. And no, you're not, sir. You're not. You're in the right. Don't do karate with this person because I think it's probably a horrible idea.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good. Nothing ends well in that.
No, not at all. So no, you're in the clear, man. You're in the clear.
Okay. All right. Well, I need to get that off my chest because I didn't even tweet about that because I was just I didn't know what to do.
You were flustered. Yeah, you're flustered. Yeah. No, I think that's a good way to end it. I think that's a good way to end this.
It had to be said, and I don't have a forum to tell these stories to.
Jordan, the Karate Kid, Takimoto. Yeah, Jordan, the Karate Kid, Takimoto. You never know if you see Jordan at this parking lot, with the headband on and doing roundhouse kicks, then the guy finally convinced him and he's all in. So just be on the lookout for Jordan's next karate expo. It'll be nice. It'll be good. Yeah, man, actually, I don't have any connection suggestions today. So I don't know if you did, but I was not thinking of doing those today. So
yeah, you know what? I'm gonna make me my connection suggestion. Go visit my UX design website.
Oh yeah, that's
JordanTakimoto.com. I posted it last week and people loved it. And by people, I mean you and your wife. So, hey, I hate everyone on social media. I'm going to throw that out there.
Hey,
I'm sick of this.
Remember earlier when you said that I was bad at marketing and you were trying to help me out? Now I'm going to try to help you out. He does not hate everybody on social media because you're also broadcasting that to everybody that is on social media. So no, but what is this exactly? Because that's a good point. I would like you to talk about that.
So it's a UX design certification program done through Google. So I'm trying to kind of pivot careers, and so I just had a portfolio site after I did the project, the course. So it's 3 projects that I created. So it's all on the site. It's just the main UX design is kind of a newer field. So it's just basically making your digital products, whether it's a website or app, easier to use. So, I think sometimes I had a little FYI in the actual post, but it's not a visual design. Like that's not who I am. That's called UI design. And so, I even had a friend of a friend check out the portfolio, and he said it was like the actual UX was good, and he said the visuals were a little bit of an eyesore. So that like I'm fully aware that the visuals aren't good. Your boy Trent, like it would make him throw up in his mouth if he saw this stuff, because again, sure, that's not my job. I'm not an artistic guy, but I do, making things problem solving and making things more usable. I think I was pretty good at. So cool. Yeah, check that out.
Can you say the site again?
It's just jordantakimoto.com.
Boom. Look at that. You got the
please visit. I spent a lot of money on the domain for 2 years. So if no one visits this and this doesn't become a career, that's gonna bum me out. Yeah.
And then he may not come back on the podcast because
won't help him out. If you are an employer, I'm much nicer in person, much more professional in person.
Yes, he is. I can vouch for that. He does not, he saves this for family time, friend time. That's it. So just, ignore everything. Don't listen to this podcast. Just go to whatever minute mark this is and then start from here.
We'll timestamp it. This is where Jordan is serious.
Timestamp it. All right, man. Well, that was fun. And thank you for recording twice this week. Hopefully I didn't see any issues or freezing this time around. Nothing that was as bad as last time. So we should be good. So cool, man. Well, thank you so much. As always, you guys can follow us at Connectable Podcast on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, Connectable Pod on Twitter. And please, 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 please head over to Apple Podcasts to rate and review and subscribe to the show. We're currently at 16 ratings and reviews. We have, I think, 15 5-stars and 1 1-star. I've already talked about that enough. I'm not going to keep harping on that. But if you would be so kind, give us a 5-star review. Help us out. It helps us become more visible as a podcast and get a little bit more attention on what we're doing. We would definitely appreciate that. Also, don't forget YouTube. Make sure you go check out YouTube. Give our videos a like. Subscribe to our channel. We would definitely appreciate it. And thank you guys so much, as always. And we will see you next week. See ya. Thanks for watching the show. If you enjoyed that episode, make sure you like it, share it, and hit the subscribe button to get a new episode every week. We'll see you next time on the Connectable Podcast.